Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to protect you. Today, I am begging you, literally begging you, to stop eating these 5 vegetables that are slowly damaging your heart. You've been told your whole life that vegetables are healthy. And yes, most of them are. But not all veggies are innocent. Some, when eaten too often or in the wrong form, can do more harm than good, especially to your heart. Let's start with vegetables high in oxalates, like spinach and beet greens. Oxalates may sound harmless, but they can form crystals in your body that clog up blood vessels and lead to arterial inflammation. Over time, this may increase your risk of high blood pressure and even heart disease. We grow up with the idea that all vegetables are good for us. They're colorful, natural, low in calories, and full of vitamins. So we assume they're always healthy, right? But here's the uncomfortable truth. Some vegetables, despite being natural, aren't as heart healthy as we've been led to believe. In fact, eating certain ones regularly can quietly and gradually cause harm to your cardiovascular system. Just because something grows from the ground doesn't automatically make it beneficial in every context, especially when it comes to heart health. Some vegetables contain compounds that are naturally present for the plant's own defense, but may not work in our favor. Our bodies aren't always equipped to break down or tolerate these compounds efficiently, and over time, that stress adds up, especially for the heart. Think of it this way. You wouldn't put the wrong fuel into a high-performance engine and expect it to keep running smoothly. Similarly, the human heart, a powerful organ that never gets a break, doesn't respond well to a constant stream of inflammation-triggering foods, even if those foods are labeled as healthy. There are certain vegetables that can contribute to elevated inflammation levels in the body. When inflammation becomes chronic, it doesn't just cause joint pain or fatigue. It can also lead to the thickening and stiffening of the arteries. This slows down blood flow, forces the heart to work harder, and increases the risk of high blood pressure and arterial plaque. What's shocking is that these effects don't happen overnight, which is why we often overlook them. Instead, they sneak up on us slowly, month after month, year after year, until one day it results in a health scare that could have been prevented. Another factor is how these vegetables interact with medications. People with heart issues often rely on medications to regulate blood pressure or thin the blood. Certain vegetables can interfere with the effectiveness of those medications or even amplify their side effects. For example, high levels of vitamin K in some leafy greens can interfere with blood thinners. Others may increase potassium to dangerous levels in people with heart conditions. These aren't just minor interactions, they can be life-altering. The idea isn't to create fear around vegetables. The goal is to challenge the myth that all vegetables are universally safe and heart-friendly, no matter how much or how often they're consumed. That's simply not true. While most vegetables can be beneficial when eaten in moderation and with variety, relying heavily on certain kinds can quietly lead to long-term heart damage. So, the next time you fill your plate, take a moment to ask, is this truly nourishing my heart, or could it be slowly contributing to the very problems I'm trying to avoid? The difference between a healthy heart and a struggling one could lie in the vegetables you eat every single day, without even realizing the impact they're having. Making informed choices now can save your heart a lot of suffering later. When we think of harmful ingredients in our diet, we often picture processed sugars, trans fats, or excessive salt. But few people realize that certain naturally occurring compounds found in vegetables, specifically oxalates, lectins, and nitrates, can quietly and slowly damage your cardiovascular system. These substances are not artificial additives. They exist in plants as part of their natural biology, often to protect the plant itself. However, when consumed regularly and in high amounts by humans, they may contribute to inflammation, arterial damage, and even the development of heart disease over time. Let's begin with oxalates. Found in high amounts in vegetables like spinach, beets, and Swiss chard, oxalates are compounds that bind to minerals such as calcium and form crystals. When consumed in excess, oxalates can accumulate in the body and may contribute to the formation of kidney stones. But the lesser-known danger is how these oxalate crystals can contribute to systemic inflammation. Chronic inflammation is one of the most significant risk factors for heart disease. When your arteries are under constant low-grade inflammation, they become more prone to plaque buildup, stiffness, and narrowing. conditions that put tremendous strain on the heart. Next, consider lectins, which are found in vegetables such as tomatoes, potatoes, and eggplants, all part of the nightshade family. Lectins are a type of protein that plants use as a defense mechanism against pests. In the human body, lectins are known to irritate the gut lining, causing what is sometimes referred to as leaky gut. This condition allows harmful substances to escape the digestive tract and enter the bloodstream, triggering an immune response. Over time, this can result in chronic inflammation, which once again has a direct and harmful impact on heart health. Your cardiovascular system does not thrive under constant immune stress. It begins to break down, slowly and silently. Then there are nitrates, commonly found in root vegetables like beets and in preserved or pickled vegetable products. While some nitrates can be beneficial in very small doses, supporting nitric oxide production which aids in blood vessel dilation, excessive or synthetic nitrates have the opposite effect. They can be converted into nitrosamines, compounds that may harm the lining of blood vessels and contribute to oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is another major player in the weakening of the heart muscle and the thickening of arterial walls. The danger with oxalates, lectins, and nitrates is not just their presence, but their overconsumption and accumulation. These aren't things you'll notice right away. The body might manage fine for a while, but as time goes on, the damage becomes more pronounced. Arteries become less flexible, blood pressure rises, the risk of heart attacks and strokes increases. It's important to understand that vegetables are complex, and not every part of every plant is beneficial in large doses. Knowing which compounds to watch for and how they interact with your body could be the key to protecting your heart. Being aware, being intentional, and being selective with your vegetables may be one of the most powerful heart protective decisions you make. Most people don't realize that when it comes to vegetables, the danger isn't always in the type. It's often in the quantity and the frequency. You could be eating the healthiest food on the planet, but if you eat it in excess, especially without balance or variety, it can turn into something harmful. This is especially true when it comes to the heart. The human body thrives on moderation, and the heart is no exception. What you eat day in and day out has a cumulative effect on your cardiovascular system, and over-consuming certain vegetables, even the ones praised as superfoods, can silently chip away at your heart health. A common mistake people make is assuming that eating more vegetables always means better health. But some vegetables contain naturally occurring compounds that become problematic when consumed too often or in large quantities. Take spinach, for example. It's loaded with nutrients, but it's also high in oxalates, which can interfere with calcium absorption and promote inflammation when eaten in excess. If spinach smoothies are your daily go-to, you might be slowly overloading your system with substances that contribute to vascular calcification or kidney stress, both of which indirectly affect your heart over time. Another example is raw cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, kale, and cauliflower. In moderation, they are fantastic, but eating them raw and frequently can impact thyroid function due to the presence of goitrogens. This, in turn, can lead to hormonal imbalances that place unnecessary strain on your metabolism and heart rate. Again, the issue isn't that these vegetables are inherently bad, it's that consuming them daily, in large quantities, and without rotation, turns them into a burden instead of a benefit. The same applies to starchy vegetables like potatoes and corn. They're natural, but they also have a high glycemic load. If they're a staple in your diet, especially if prepared in unhealthy ways like frying or overboiling, they can contribute to blood sugar spikes and insulin resistance. Over time, this metabolic stress translates to elevated blood pressure, hardened arteries, and a greater risk of heart disease. And unfortunately, since the effects are not immediate, many people have no idea their eating habits are playing a slow, dangerous game with their heart. It's not about completely eliminating certain vegetables from your diet. It's about paying attention to patterns. If the same few vegetables are appearing on your plate every single day, that's a red flag. Diversity in your diet is crucial. Rotating your vegetables not only ensures a wide range of nutrients, but also minimizes the risk of overexposing your body to specific anti-nutrients or inflammatory compounds that might accumulate and cause harm. Balance and moderation are the real keys to protecting your heart. Instead of focusing on what's good or bad, start thinking about how much and how often. Your heart responds to long-term trends, not one-time meals. Make each meal count by keeping it varied, balanced, and mindful. That simple shift in thinking could make all the difference in the health and strength of your heart. When people learn that certain vegetables may not be as heart healthy as they thought, the first reaction is often confusion or frustration. It's understandable. For years, we've been told to eat more vegetables with little guidance on which ones, how much, or how often. But the good news is that protecting your heart doesn't mean you have to give up vegetables entirely. In fact, it's about being smarter with your choices. There are plenty of alternatives. Vegetables that are gentler on the heart, lower in problematic compounds, and still rich in nutrients. Making small shifts in your diet can lead to major improvements in cardiovascular health over time. For example, instead of relying heavily on oxalate-rich greens like spinach and beet greens, you can rotate in options like arugula, romaine lettuce, or watercress. These leafy greens are lower in oxalates and still provide essential vitamins and minerals without the added burden on your kidneys or arteries. They're also easier to digest and less likely to contribute to calcium buildup in the blood vessels, which can restrict blood flow and increase heart strain. If you're someone who eats a lot of nightshades, such as tomatoes, eggplants, or potatoes, consider diversifying with non-nightshade options like zucchini, carrots, or turnips. These vegetables don't contain lectins that can irritate the gut lining and cause inflammation, a known risk factor for heart disease. Swapping even a few meals a week can reduce that inflammation burden and support a healthier vascular system. Fermented and pickled vegetables may seem like a fun and tasty way to boost your meals, but they're often packed with sodium and artificial preservatives. Too much sodium directly contributes to high blood pressure, which silently damages the heart over time. Instead, choose fresh vegetables or lightly steamed options seasoned with herbs and spices instead of salt. Or, if you enjoy fermented foods, try low-sodium versions made at home with natural fermentation methods. When it comes to starchy vegetables like corn and white potatoes, consider switching to heart-friendlier complex carbs, such as sweet potatoes or squash. These are high in fiber, which helps regulate blood sugar and cholesterol levels, two major factors in heart health. Plus, they digest more slowly, putting less stress on insulin levels and reducing arterial inflammation. Even preparation matters. Many vegetables become more heart-friendly when cooked lightly or steamed, as this can reduce certain harmful compounds like lectins and goitrogens. Eating everything raw all the time may seem clean, but it's not always what's best for your heart, especially if it leads to nutrient overloads or digestive stress. The bottom line is this: you're not being told to give up vegetables. You're being encouraged to make informed choices, choices that support your heart rather than challenge it. There are better options available, and they're easy to incorporate once you know what to look for. Your heart deserves the best fuel. Choosing the right vegetables in the right amounts, prepared in the right way, is one of the most powerful tools you have to keep it strong and healthy for years to come.